give y'all some boxing history. My son, my oldest, I'm driving his ass up here today. Say, Pops, I need to holler at you. He said, last time I was in the county jail, two old school sheriffs, a white boy, old school and a Mexican, or Hispanic. He was Mexican. He said they cornered him off in a certain cell and asked him, do you know Augustus? Or is he any relation to you? That's my daddy. So my son said, yeah, that's my grandpa. Why? He said the sheriff told him, man, he trained us and he trained my father in the Golden Gloves. I laughed so motherfucking hard. I said, yeah. I said, I told you, Terrence. This is how my father raised us. This is how he took care of his mother, my mother, his wife. I said he worked for the city of Los Angeles. He had a bookie joint, an old boom boom room, because he had liquor license. So it was like a neighborhood market that sold beer and shit. And I said he trained prize fighters and managed them. That's what he's registered in all the ring magazines for years. I say, far as I can remember, because my daddy has 12 kids before me from his first wife. He migrated here in the end of the 1920s. But far as I can remember, before we used to practice and train at Hoover Street Gym, we used to be at East LA at Lincoln Heights. The old jail that they turned into a boxing gym has a big mirror on the wall for Muhammad Ali. I got pictures by it as a kid with my boxing gloves and gym attire on. And my father trained one of the first female fighters, Lady Tiger, out of a 108th Street boxing gym with Bill Slayton and Billy Mitchell. Those were his friends. Bill Slayton owned the gym on 108th and Broadway. So anyway, my father had a lot of Mexican fighters, and he spoke Spanish, Castillo Spanish, but he practiced it every night because they speak a broken Spanish or slang, and he spoke the proper Spanish, so he always had to still practice it till he died. But he also taught it to the early Mexicans here that could speak Spanish, but they couldn't read or write in it. They was really literate. Some of the first, second, and third generations. But my father was with those people because he marched with Cesar Chavez, and he taught me about Gustavo Garcia, the world's greatest civil rights attorney. He made Johnny Cochran talent look like child's play. You better go study Gustavo Garcia. He just killed himself drinking too much, cirrhosis of the liver, died lonely on the bench. But I love Gustavo Garcia. He's one of my heroes in America. He's an American icon. This is a protege of Sonia Sotomayor, our Supreme Court Justice. Matter of fact, that's American history and all that. But we started off at the Olympic Auditorium with Jimmy Lennon, the announcer, and then later on his son that you hear now announcing the prize fighter events. But he sounds just like his daddy, exactly like his daddy. So I know his father, and I remember Junior when he was younger, before he was even announcing, back in the 1970s, when his daddy was still announcing. And so we migrated from the Olympic Auditorium downtown to the Forum when Jerry Buss bought it. Him and my daddy got a lot of pictures together because he owned the Forum and they used to have fight night at the Forum in Inglewood. And my father used to take his prize fighters there and to Las Vegas. To matter of fact, to the Trump motherfucking towers, to the Trump motels. He used to host a lot of the early prize fights for especially African Americans. President Trump did. And so one of my father's fighters was Thigpen Bumblebee. What a lot of his fighters turned pro and started smoking crack during the 80s soon as they made a little money. And so my dad used to have to take some of his savings and, take care of a lot of prize fighters. They come from the hood, the nitty gritty, and they don't come from well-to-do families. So as a manager and a trainer, sometimes they have to take care of their fighters when they have talent. And so you being a child, you have to understand this and don't be feeling like he's taken away from you or his other kids. When you come from a sports parent like that, that's into sports for money. We don't fuck around with sports for play, and that's why I don't watch sports, only prize fights. But the only reason I do, because my father taught that, and he made money off of sports and took care of his family. I don't just watch sports for free. They don't interest me. I like science, medicine, and history, and world peace.